Hey people, it's Wednesday, so we're back. Dig Dug's Treasure Chest. I still don't have my lair set up again, so I'm back in front of the shelf again this week. This week for an episode, a lot of people were always asking what the trade paperbacks and stuff I have on my TV were. So I'm gonna go over a bunch of comic stories for new readers, or like if you're just getting into comics, these are some really good stories that you should check out. Some awesome comic stories that I've enjoyed my whole life and I've probably read several times, and there's been movies made on a lot of them, I think. Maybe just about all of them, but not all of them, I don't think. And if you're like, oh, I don't really know what to read, or I don't know where I should start as a comic reader, well, these are some trade paperbacks. You go to most bookstores, most chapters, most comic shops, pick them up. You can even borrow them off a buddy, probably, if you have a nerd friend like me. If you guys have any issues that you think are awesome or good start on points or books and shit like that for people who are just getting into comic books, throw them down in the comment section. Let's start a discussion, because there's so many good comics. Oh, and don't forget, it's in like a month, our comics are going to be out, so you guys can check that out too. But until there's that cool comic to read, let's look at some of the greatest comics ever. First books I grabbed here is Killing Joke, Alan Moore. Classic. There's a cartoon movie if you want to watch the movie, but it's basically a Joker origin story about Alan Moore, who is arguably one of the best comic writers ever. So if you're new to comics and you've never checked out The Killing Joke and you're a big Joker fan, I highly suggest it. I don't want to say anything because it's an awesome story and I don't want to give anything away, but what is it? You'd be just like me. All it takes is one bad day. This is my favorite author is Mark Millar, and I'm sure all of you have seen Logan by now, but if you've never read Old Man Logan, which is what it's based on, it's the movie's awesome, but this comic's way better. Like, it's awesome. Logan, basically, the world's gone to shit. All the heroes are dead, and Wolverine's doesn't kill no more. He's gone soft, and Hawkeye comes along of all people and needs his help. So they go on this journey across America together, and it's, I don't know, you run into Spider-Man's daughter. Magneto's dead and replaced. Red Skull's still kicking around, I think. Pretty sure he's wearing Captain America and everyone he's killed's armor and shield and shit. That's just parts of his victim and he wears them. I don't know, it's such a good story. If you guys, any Mark Millar is usually good, but if you guys have a chance, check out Old Man Logan. Wicked story, you will not regret it. Another great Batman story. Frank Miller. Mark Millar and Frank Miller gets back. Frank Miller. No relation, I don't think. One of the best Batman stories, another great Batman story. There's a lot of good Batman stories. Batman has to return because basically the world's gone to shit, and he is even older and grouchier and meaner than he was now. So I'll check it out. I think you'll love it. There's been 2 sequels now, I think, and the second one's really good. I'm not sure if I've finished the third one. Can't go wrong with Dark Knight Returns. I know you guys are probably sick of me talking about this movie, but this book is awesome too. The Infinity Gauntlet's crazy. A lot of people think that part 2 of the movie is going to be like this book, so if you want to know spoilers or possible spoilers, check it out. I know Adam Warlock isn't supposed to be in part 2, though, or the part 2 of Avengers 3. So there must be going some other direction, but he is supposed to be in Guardians 3, I believe. So read the Infinity Gauntlet, though. It's a good book. Like, who cares about the movies, right? Just read the book as it's meant to be enjoyed. All this other stuff is bonuses. I actually just bought this the other day, and embarrassingly enough, I'd never read Civil War. It's a really good book. The movie makes a lot more sense now. I had never read the book. I don't know. I wasn't really reading comics at the time. I was homeless living on the street, so I missed it. But yeah, it's an awesome read. I highly suggest you check it out. See whose side you're on. You know, it's just like movie, right? It's Tony and Iron Man. Iron Man believes all the superheroes should be registered, and Cap thinks that it's a choice and their identity should be kept a secret. You know, like, shit goes bad for Spider-Man every time people know his identity, right? Come on. Remember Frank Miller? Another one to actually check out is 300 and Sin City, also both good. Oh, but here we go. Batman Year One, really good. Excellent, just excellent Frank Miller. This and Daredevil is probably my favorite Frank Miller. So for people who are like, this is all superhero shit, Doug, I don't like superheroes. I feel that. I know a lot of people don't like superheroes. I get sick of them too. Sometimes you gotta like journey out there. It's very fun shit like this. Fables. Fables is an excellent book. It's all about like, the main character is the wolf from like Little Red Riding Hood and a bunch of other like stories that had the wolf. And they all like intermingle, and it's, I don't know, if you like fairy tales, just messed up writing. I haven't read this in a few years, but pretty sure they went to like almost 200 issues or something. I'm not sure, but it went for quite a while. I bought this big collection of comics and got like a big stack of trade paperbacks. I think I have 20 or 30 of them, so there's quite a few issues to enjoy. Oh man, Planet Hulk. I assume most of you guys saw Thor Ragnarok, which is probably one of my favorite Marvel movies. Well, Meek and Korg. Meek and Korg. Korg has a flashback of when he was at Earth, and it's actually the first appearance of Thor, like Journey into Mystery 83 or whatever. So I thought that was really cool, because Meek's like, oh yeah, I showed on Earth, but this one human beat the shit out of me and sent me away, so he just assumes they're all that strong, but it's like, it just turns out he randomly ran into Thor. I don't know, so I thought that was kind of a cool flashback from the current, or from this Planet Hulk back to like the early days of Marvel. But basically, yeah, it's all about Thor on the Sakara, or whatever that planet was called, and fighting for the Emperor and all that stuff. So if you like Thor, Ragnarok, and especially the Hulk part, then check this book out. It's a really good read. You know, typical Hulk smash, which is always fun and never gets old. That's why he's still doing it and we're still reading it. Another book, I don't know, this is, again, in that age where I was avoiding Marvel, I guess, and not reading any comics, but Age of Ultron. This was a really good book too. Especially I like Wolverine, right? This was just a pretty good Wolverine story in my mind. There's time travel involved in Ultron, and basically, you know, he's up to his same old shit. I'm pretty hit or miss with Bendis. Like sometimes I'm like, whoa, he's such a good writer, and other times I'm like, ugh. Like Old Man Logan 2 by Bendis was so bad in my mind. Age of Ultron was really good, and it was a fun read, and I suggest you check it out for the however much it costs. But rip on down chapters or wherever the hell people buy books. I didn't actually read this one, but everyone's telling me how awesome it is. It's called Saga. My wife read it. She really likes it. Which, you know, she's not into every comic, but when she is into a comic, it's pretty cool. So, I don't know, there's been a lot of books she didn't want to keep reading them. Saga, she's like, yeah, I'll read book 2. I actually enjoy it. So, that's pretty cool. Brian K. Vaughan. Oh, man, I forget what book he did. Oh, Ex Machina. Okay, yeah, that's supposed to be a good book too. Ex Machina. But yeah, check out Saga. It's two, like, these people on a small planet, and they're having a war, so they're getting two bigger planets to fight for them or something. I'm not sure. My wife just kind of briefly described it to me. But these two people from the two different wars had a kid or something, and they're trying to just live their lives and not have the war tear them apart, or something like that. I don't know. If you are just getting into comics, this is actually a really good spot to start, especially if you like Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man. Again, it's Bendis. It's a hit for Bendis in my mind. Ultimate Spider-Man, I love the entire series. Well, like 1 to 160 or whenever Peter dies, like it's just a really good complete story. Check it out. Like I said, the end is freaking terrible and sad, but like I don't know, the series is really good. I highly suggest it. It kind of takes Spider-Man back to basics, restarts it all, so there's not like 40 years of continuity that you have to worry about. But yeah, check it out, Ultimate Spider-Man. Ultimate Fantastic. I haven't read much Fantastic Four, but this was one of my favorite Fantastic Four series. And again, it's just like the Ultimate Spider-Man. They just brought it back, restarted it, so you didn't have all those years of continuity to worry about. You could just be a new reader and be like, oh, discover the Storm family, like so many people did so many years ago. Because I kind of feel like they were. I know Stan Lee's always said he's wanted a Silver Surfer movie, but I feel like Fantastic Four were pretty close to his heart because he seemed to really favor them, or he wrote them for quite a while. Fantastic Four is pretty. There's a lot of crazy adventures there. Galactus, Black Panther, and Silver Surfer, and the Mole Man, and Doom. Like Fantastic, there's some cool shit. But yeah, those are some trade paperbacks and stories. If you haven't, as usual, I'm Dig Dug. I'm here every Wednesday. Please like and subscribe, or just, you know, say hi in the comments. I was looking for a talk. Yeah, I'll see you guys all next week. Until then, keep on collecting. Peace. Honey, are we out of chips?